So this is a pretty easy breakdown here. They give us like, 5 sentences with this article. You see, it says right here, hundreds of flights delayed by runway equipment issue at Atlanta airport. And there's just some images that pop up on Google. Hundreds of flights have been delayed at Atlanta's airport, one of the world's busiest, on Sunday because of a runway equipment issue. The Federal Aviation Administration said in a statement that it has temporarily slowed arrivals into Hartsfield-Jackson, Atlanta International Airport while technicians work to address the problem. As of 1 p.m., EDT, I don't know what time zone, what that's referring to, but Eastern Division time, I don't know. But it says as of 1 p.m., more than 200 departure flights were delayed, according to the flight tracking website FlightAware. More than 250 incoming flights were also delayed. And look, that's everything they give us with the article. I noticed a few things. I know obviously I have a few slides and this isn't going to be difficult, but Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta Airport, I just did a Josh Hart breakdown with the New York Knicks. He was a game leader in points with a victory over the Celtics. And that was the game where there was a fire alarm, I guess, that was set off by accident or whatever the case may be. But you see, here's the breakdown there. And Josh Hart right here was, like I said, the leader in that game, 23 points. So Hartsfield, the stuff, it continues to be by the language. And look what I had that connected to right there. You see those two structures. Remember that date, the 11th day of September back in 2001, evacuation, emergency, and all of that. But look at that connection. And obviously that was with airplanes, right? So that's amazing. So now we get Hartsfield-Jackson, Atlanta International Airport, which connects to that story by the language with this heart right here, Hartsfield. And there may possibly be a guy named Jackson on the Knicks or the Celtics, and that's possible. I mean, how deep do we want to go here? But geez, right? And I just kind of caught that one on the fly right there. So I'll attempt to play this video of this story. It's real short. Sometimes the volume doesn't pick up. So, so I don't know. If there's no volume, I'll leave it or I'll edit it out. But here, I'm going to try to play this now. And if there's no volume, maybe we could just see the visuals. But here it is.
We do want to begin with a rough travel day for many at the world's busiest airport as an equipment outage and weather led to hundreds of flight delays. That's where we find Fox 5.
So they're saying weather and runway equipment issue, whatever the hell they mean by that.
Kim Luffler. Kim, are we still seeing delays at this hour, especially as the rain is
I thought it was a short video. This one's a little bit longer.
Starting to come down again?
Yeah, we're definitely still seeing delays right now, Eric. In fact, according to FlightAware, there have been over 800 delays here at the airport all throughout the day. Now, this mess started with a ground stop here around 10:40 this morning for flights heading to Atlanta. The FAA says that was due to a runway equipment issue. The ground stop was lifted around 12:30 and was followed by a ground delay for Delta flights, which stretched until mid-afternoon. A Delta spokesperson said the ground delay was needed due to the volume of flights they have here in Atlanta and to ensure their operation operations can run smoothly. The spokesperson says the delays were due to both the outage from this morning as well as weather in the area. We spoke to travelers flying into Atlanta today who got caught up in the delays. One man says his flight was delayed for 45 minutes and another was stuck on his plane for an extra hour. They tell us both of those delays were due to visibility issues at the airport.
So the good news is,
right, and we don't need to watch all of that. And they said weather as well. They're saying weather, and let's go over here. Let me Google runway equipment airport. Okay, so apparently there was runway equipment issues and weather. I don't know if they mentioned specifics, and maybe I didn't hear them maybe, but that's kind of irrelevant. I mean, this is a decoding channel, okay?
We do want to begin with a rough travel. We do want to begin with.
Look at, what do you think about this? As I stated, this is a decoding channel. These stories are questionable. It's a basic story, not saying everything's fake, but I think these stories hit by the numbers. And obviously with the language, letters have these numerical values attached. Obviously, it's a code. Look at how Atlanta is founded in 1837 and Georgia equals 37 in the language, but they're saying weather and runway equipment issues or whatever. Look at how weather has 37 in the same cipher as Georgia. So weather, Georgia, 37. Atlanta, founded in 1837. Weather even has 35 like flight. Goes hand in hand, right? You like that slide right there? Look at how it hits here. Look, I mean, that's a nice add to what's upcoming. Even equipment, look, equipment 120 and 48 like Atlanta. And plane has 48. Look, it says it right up there, look. Hundreds of flights delayed by runway equipment issue at Atlanta airport. What are the chances? Equipment 120 and 48 and Atlanta 120 and 48 and then plane 48? Tell me. And you see the 4 ciphers utilized here. This is all I need to show you that this is shady, man. Okay? 120. It doesn't have to be a big serious story, injuries, plane crashes. It doesn't matter what the trending story, it hits by a code and nothing can stop it. This stuff just comes out of a computer. Nobody's controlling this. Computers run everything. Is this what they're talking about with AI and some kind of takeover? This is already set with these patterns in a computer and the stuff just hits. And it's like insert other random words into the story. Look at that. And 4 plus 8 is 12. So look at how this works. You get the equipment story, runway equipment with Atlanta. You see, runway equipment issue again. And look, 4 plus 8 is 12. So equipment, Atlanta, plane 48, 4 plus 8 is 12. Atlanta 120, equipment 120. 120 is like 12. You see that? Even equipment issue. ABC 123. Look at the breakdown of the letters and numbers right there. E the 5th letter, Q the 17th, U 21. You don't need me to show you this. Obviously it's easy to just watch me break this down. I'm not trying to entertain. Soak up this information because this is why we need the internet so you can view me expose this. Not for all the dumb stuff a lot of us use the internet for. And I'm guilty myself, but look, equipment issue 193 in the ordinal cipher, that's the 44th prime number. Georgia equals 44. And it is very rare that you get a Georgia, anything related to Georgia, any story, and you don't get that 44. It could be college football or whatever. You're going to get this 44 here with Georgia. And you see again, the 44th prime number is 193, equipment issue 193, and that's what this is about. And you see it hit every which way. Also, equipment issue 67, like planes. Okay, and 67 is the 19th prime number. Chaos equals 19. And remember, I showed you Josh Hart and the New York Knicks. This is Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, whatever it's called. And I showed you that Josh Hart connection with New York and that 11th day of September in history connected with planes, right? That day 119, which connects to the 19th prime number, which is 67. And I'm just kind of catching that on the fly here. Ooh. That day in history with those two buildings in the planes in NY. Who was the president when that happened? Yes, George Bush Jr. Look at this is a Georgia story right here. I'm telling you, this is all with the language. I'm telling you, this stuff is. Look, they don't want you to know that they don't want you to, this is the part of decoding they don't want you to know. Okay? There's decoding channels out there who do what I'm doing here. Okay? They are gatekeeping this information that the world is ran on the language, and it's down to our level. Do you understand? These trending stories and the celebrities we talk about a lot, those decoders, yeah, they'll speak on that, but they'll kind of hush hush about what I'm telling you. This is completely with the language. Okay? You understand? So if I'm on here, let's say I want to go on one of their channels and go in the comments and mention some of this stuff, they're going to poo poo what I say. Do you understand? Because they're put there to just give you the little bits and pieces of information. You hear me? Right? Because they don't want you to know the whole deal. Do you understand? This is manipulation and it's deception by those characters. Right? So you're going to get more on this channel. And look, you may not even be hearing me right now. Again, this all began with me happening. This is me doing what I'm good at. And this is what I do. And it's fun and it's a hobby for me. Nobody put me up to this. So I'm doing what I do here. So with whatever the algorithm, how it works, and this stuff not getting to where it needs to get, okay, it's all good. But any real ones out there, Richard West, there's a lot of people, they listen to what the other guys say and they may poo poo what I say. Do you understand? Well, so be it. But this is the real deal here. Even Georgia equals 127 in reverse. The previous breakdown on this channel. Look at the character who was involved in that. I just dropped this video, the last one on my channel. Look at Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the OKC Thunder. Look at his birthday, the 12th day of the 7th month. You can go check that video out, 127. Now we get Georgia. How does this happen? When I wasn't aware of it, and then okay, I get a certain algorithm or whatever, but these are major trending stories. So what's going on here? Because it's not a coincidence, right? And I can think of OKC. with Gilgeous Alexander, the superstar on that team. And then I can bring up the OKC incident uh, with the bombing and how that relates to that New York incident with the two buildings. And it just all goes hand in hand. So there's more to it. Isn't this wild? 127, 127 back to back breakdowns. And I could sit here for a few minutes and look, Gilgis, G like Georgia. I mean, Alexander, A like Atlanta. Dude, what are we doing? I'm telling you, this is with the language. And obviously, I'm proving it. You see the trending story, and it's basketball related, like the Josh Hart New York Knicks. You see what I'm saying? With OKC and New York and those two tragedies in history connected? This issue with, they're saying weather in these flights, and they're saying one of the world's busiest airports. Okay? This was on Sunday, a 41 date numerology. Notice how airplanes equals 41, airplane equals 140. The same numbers. Okay? And you can go look at that Gilgis Alexander breakdown with the Thunder. Who the hell did they beat? Oh, the Nuggets. You can go look at that. There's 14s and 41s in there brought up, okay? And you want to see something else? You see the airplane right there? Let me pull this up. Look at this. You see that right there? That was September on the 11th day. Let me show you the exact date numerology, okay? Look at this. Wow, and isn't that amazing? That this calculator is up right here from a previous breakdown. I don't even know which one right now. But look, it's on the 41. But look let me put that date in. You see that, right? You're going to have to look. Look, that day has 41 date numerology and 14. You see that? Look how that hits. Okay? And it's just these patterns, and this stuff's connected. It doesn't mean you're going to get a Shea Gilgis Alexander story with this story within the same article. No, I'm just telling you the stuff hits with patterns. You get the OKC tragedy, which obviously connects with that. You see? Right? Okay? So it's just these energies and these patterns. And look how this all hits just with this little information. And I can go deeper on all of this. But, think about Kobe Bryant, air-related death with the helicopter. He died at age 41. His name equals 41 in the language. Lakers equals 41. And LA, I think LA, yeah, LA equals, I think, 14 and 41, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I meant to say. You see, so, I mean, that's just how it be.
Right now, taking a live look outside at the world's busiest airport, where Mother's Day and travel hit a bit of a turbulence. In fact, it was some major turbulence earlier.
Okay, and that was Mother's Day. Think about Mother's Day. I love mom. Think about the generic tattoo. I love my mother. Mother's Day. Love, that connects with Josh Hart. You see what I'm saying? This is Hartsfield Airport. God damn it.
More than 1,000 flights were delayed today at Hartsfield-Jackson International because of weather and a runway equipment issue. The FAA arrivals were slowed as technicians are fixing the problem. According to FlightAware, more than 1,100 flights have been delayed.
1,100, like 11. OKC equals 11. Mother's Day was on the 11th. This happened on the 11th.
100 flights.
This is the 11th slide. How the hell is that?
According to FlightAware, more than 1,100 flights have been.
Dude, that tragedy in NYC with the two structures and the aircrafts, that was on the day leaving 111 days in the year, and it was the 11th state.
Technicians are
George Bush, Georgia.
fixing the problem. According to FlightAware, more than 1,100 flights have been delayed with at least 10 cancellations.
Bro,
Right now, taking a live look.
I mean, what do you want? What are we doing? And if I have to edit that out, I don't know what to say, man. Maybe I just leave it. I mean, it's like whatever. That should be simple enough for y'all to see. Shout out to Richard West, man. I know you get it. It's like we just make these videos basically for each other. They say it's YouTube. They ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? They've put a number next to it. I think people who are viewing this, not everybody can do this. Let's say there's people in charge out there. Let's say they know about the fake world and this code. They're not able to decode it like I can decode it. See what I'm saying? So I think those people are viewing this. It's not getting to the people. We're the people. It's not reaching we the people. You know? Deceivers out there running things, I think they're viewing these, and maybe those are real view counts to satisfy our egos. I don't think it's getting to the people who need to see it. Again, that could be my opinion. There's always more. I don't see a more solid breakdown on this, though, in the time I spent and on the fly with what we hit. And I'm not perfect. You see? There's always something that's missed. That's all they gave us. And you see what I did there. Hundreds of flights delayed by runway equipment issue at Atlanta Airport. That's what I got for y'all. Until next time.